This episode of Pretty Not Smart is brought to you by Huggies Little Snugglers. Huggies Little Snugglers, now with a blowout protection in every direction. Sizes 1 to 2. Huggies, we got you, baby.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode with Gay Son, Thought Daughter. I'm your host, Andrea, and this is my co-host,
Louie, aka the baddest perra.
that kind of ate.
I know, I was gonna say, we were literally about to start filming, and Andrea was like, "This is Thought Daughter, Gay Son." And I was like, "Wait, why would that actually work as a podcast
has
name?"
Anyone already used that yet?
I don't know. We're gonna have to search that up. Y'all, I'm excited because this is our first episode without Yoatzi la enfadosa.
It's kind of sad.
Really?
Bitch.
I'm like, it's
I'm
kind of
used to
sick.
her being here.
No, yeah, me too. But if y'all are new here and you missed our last 2 episodes, Yoatzi is out on maternity relief or whatever it's called. So I've been on the hunt for a new co-host. So for today, we have no other than the real MC, Andrea, the third Castro sister. And I'm so excited to be doing an episode with just you. Because I feel like we've had, obviously, me, Andrea, and Yoatzi, and that's a whole dynamic on its own. But imagine a podcast with me and Andrea. That's a whole different because I feel like
That'd be hella weird.
Me and you have a whole different dynamic than me and Yoatzi or you and Yoatzi.
Yes.
We're all siblings, but it's still very much a whole different side of a cake.
Yeah.
I'm all hungry.
Okay.
You're like, that's one way to put it. No, but I'm super excited to be having Andrea. I don't know if Yoatzi will or ever will be coming back for season 3. So I am going to be testing you out as a co-host. And if this works out, I'll give you a call back, my love.
Okay. And then I'll have to move here and then
For real. Settle. You
pack
can
my bag.
move
So
into
move into your
Yoatzi's
guest room.
house.
You're like, no, my house.
Oh, babe, I'm like, no, not mine. You can sleep in Honey's room.
I'll sleep in her crate.
In her little crate. You're like,
That's okay.
guys.
Yeah.
They're
Hi,
like, how's
honey.
the podcast life treating you? You're like, cute.
Great. Going really well.
If I were to make that offer to you.
To live in Honey's crate, bitch.
No, if
Fuck
I were
no.
to be like, hey, Andrea, I need the co-host position filled. Do you think, outside of all real life activity and your work and school or whatnot, do you feel like you could see yourself doing a podcast?
No.
No, you don't
I'm
feel
so boring. No.
No, what do you mean you're boring? People love when you're on Pretty Not Pompies.
I don't have enough to say.
That's what we all think until we
I like
loosen
to
up.
listen and giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the corner, all scary.
Remember when you used to do that to me when I was little?
Not bully you.
Yeah, I remember. Whenever he did something bad and he was getting away with it, and I'd go tell my mom or my dad, and I'd be like, Luis hizo esto. He'd be in the corner and he'd be like,
I'd go like that.
start pointing at me. Yeah.
And then my parents would never believe her.
Yeah.
And they would get her in trouble. So that's where I'd go. And then
I can literally see your little gremlin ass in the corner.
She would be crying. And I'd be like,
yeah.
wait,
So
that is actually
mean.
so scary in me. Now that I'm putting myself in your position,
God.
seeing me behind
Fuck
something.
you.
It
was so scary.
It was sickening for me because I'd never
do
get
they know
caught.
about Pompis con lente?
Yeah, I think we did
I
see
can't
it,
remember
right?
if-
Or I don't know if we've just told our friends.
Yeah, I know we've told our friends.
Because when we were younger, I don't know how it came to be, but we had a downstairs and an upstairs. This is in that one house where we told you that we witnessed a lot of paranormal shit. And me and Andrea would be downstairs. And as soon as it was time to go upstairs, I'd let Andrea go in front of me. Yeah, I'd let Andrea go in front of me in the stairs and I would turn off the light. And as soon as she'd start running up, I'd be like, corre, Andrea, viene una pompi con lentes. And
Dude,
she would scream at the top of her lungs.
I would imagine a pair of floating butt cheeks. With glasses and eyeballs, a whole face, just floating.
Just a
and
butt
following
face.
me. Yeah.
And I'd literally just yell, corre, Andrea, viene una pompi con lentes. And she would scream
Why with
and cry.
lentes?
I don't know. It sounded right. A pompi con lentes. It sounded right. But
yes.
it was so funny. And it was when we finally got down to it, once we were a little older, I'd be like, why were you scared of a pompi con lentes?
You know what I'd imagine?
What?
You know Phineas and Ferb, the floating balloon guy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the vibe that I would get.
Oh, okay.
He was
That was
scary.
an ugly ass balloon. Wait, I just
scary.
thought of something really scary.
What?
It's like super random, you guys, but I want to say it before I forget. Have you ever heard
I'm all scared.
of the Cookie Monster? I'm just kidding. Have you ever heard of frogging? Ew, I'm getting scared.
Wait, Loki? Why does that sound kind of familiar?
There was a movie based off of the concept, but it's frogging.
Oh, no. I thought you meant
Wait,
like
man,
froggy.
do you know what frogging is?
Like a little froggy.
Oh,
Ew,
yes.
no, don't tell me. I
You
live
know what?
alone.
But like, I don't think it applies to you because it wouldn't work out in your.
Because you have a really small house. And it wouldn't.
No, like I'll explain why. But this is really scary because like
I don't know if I want to know.
like low key, I've like thought about it happening to me, and then just randomly, like this is a thought that I have a lot. But I feel like it's impossible because I have like so many cameras in my house.
Is it like when people live in your house? Like your attic?
Yes.
Oh, bitch. I've seen videos of that.
Yes. No. Okay.
Like
So
they're all climbing on top of the fridge to like get on. Like,
okay. Well,
the
those
little
are
attic
funny
door.
ones. But the one that
Ah.
I saw last night, I was in my bed. It was hella late, and like I get more scared because like I thought of this happening to me before, like in nightmares and stuff. But it was a video of a lady being like, "Oh, like my friend, she had this like noise that she would always hear in her attic, and she like thought it was like an animal, raccoon. She was fully convinced. I don't know what.
no.
Long story short, she said that the friend finally was like, "Hey, I'm tired of hearing this shit. What the fuck is it? Animal, thinking an animal." She goes in her attic.
Ew.
Dude. I literally had nightmares. She takes a picture with flash
Ew,
and she
no.
fully takes a picture of the man that was in her attic. She was like taking it from where I'm at to where you're at. Like that close, and the guy's just looking direct. It was looking directly into the camera, and it scared the out of me. Like right now, I feel like I'll be going about my day, and I randomly remember what that picture looked like, and it scares the shit
Thank
out of me.
goodness I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
'cause
it
that
was
would be
really
nightmare.
scary.
Well, just the other day, even maybe this morning, I was seeing a TikTok of someone that like stuck their phone like in the attic and were like, guys, can you check if it's like safe? And then there's just like a little animal.
Oh,
right
I saw
there.
that one,
It's
like a little possum kind of
yeah,
thing. And it
kind
was
of like a little possum.
and it was like
it's
not
just,
moving at
no,
all.
and it was kind of cute. But hell no, if I saw a grown ass man in my attic.
No, literally putting it like that.
Absolutely not.
And it was even like,
Ew.
I hated myself for watching it because she literally said, like, viewer discretion is advised. Like, if you get scared easily or whatever, she's like, please don't watch this. Yeah, well, you're pendejo. I literally was like this, like covering my eyes, but I was like, curiosity.
Do you have an attic?
I do. I got scared. But I get a lot of work done in my house too. Like right now, I have an electrician doing work at my house, and I'm like, if he would have seen some scary shit, he would have told me already. All right,
He moves in there.
I know he's the one that lives in there.
But if it is,
I'd be like,
no,
like the fucking viejita from ¿cómo se
Oh my
llama?
God,
Ratatouille. I'd be like,
Yes.
a whole family falls.
Oh.
Imagine they're like, wait.
It's little possums.
No, I'm talking like a human family falls. That would be a high ass ceiling for them. Imagine in my like main living room. Like,
No, because I was thinking, how is he gonna put that light up there?
I don't know. Well, with like a fucking 80-foot stair.
Does that even exist?
ladder? Yeah, there's ladders that extend that height.
Like a fire truck, bitch. You're gonna
Bury
be in your
that.
house.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has to. He has to install the lines.
I was looking at it and I was like, pobrecito. I don't know how he's gonna do that.
Whiny lines. It's because
Get ambiance.
I have a really high ceiling. And like for the longest time, I've been living here for like 2 years. And I haven't had someone been able to do that. But he has a ladder.
Hey, you better be there to support him, eh? You better be holding you down.
Babe, we're both going down if he falls. So I'll be like holding him. He falls on me. I wanted to ask you something else. I think I asked Douse this when we were all in Cabo. I don't remember if you were there though. I was trying to remember. But whether you were there or not, I still want to ask you. So you and I have an age gap of what, 3 years?
3 years.
Do you feel like I give off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do I give like old? No, well, I'm asking if I give off like older brother vibes, but also if I give off like, oh yeah, you're definitely like your age or older.
No, it trips me out. I don't remember who I was talking to about this other day, but I was like, it trips me out so much that my brother is only 3 years older than me, but he has like a whole house, multiple cars. Like he has, like
Oh.
he's living with his partner. Do they know that?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, he's living with his partner. I'm all exposing
You're like,
you.
he's married. Imagine, I'm like,
I'm
wait.
like, he has 2 kids.
I know,
Honey and
bitch.
Milky. No, yeah. But like,
Yeah.
it trips me out because I'm like, I have friends that are older than you. And so when I think of it like that, I'm like, that's so.
Okay, I've never thought about it like that because you're seeing it more as like we're like you have almost like a perspective. Because when you put it like that, then I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, okay, yeah, because when I was younger, I don't think I would have ever thought like, oh, wow, that's my life and that's what I have. So now that I see it in that perspective, I'm like, oh, but I was thinking more of like the way that I act and stuff.
But the way that you act, you're chamaco as fuck vibes.
Yeah.
You're like my age. That's why I feel like we get along.
Oh,
You're not
yeah.
like a millennial. Would you be a
That's,
millennial?
and that's what I was gonna get to. I was like, am I giving boomer?
No,
Like,
right?
it's because sometimes, okay, you guys, so just like make myself cringe. Because obviously I do social media. I try my best to keep up with like the trends and stuff.
Wait, that makes me sad
What?
that you're all worried you're a boomer.
I feel like I am. It's because look, I watch social media and hanging around Daos. If y'all didn't know, Andrea's younger than me, but Daos is younger than Andrea. So like Daos is very mature though for like his age. I mean, no shade Daos, but sometimes he can be like a chamaco vibes.
I don't think so.
In some certains where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he's younger than me. Like in some, but for the most part, Daos is very mature. Like he doesn't give me like, bim, you know, the chamaco. But then there are moments where I'm like, oh yeah, he's like a chamaco.
Oh.
But
I love that.
yeah. But I asked Daos that question because I was like, wait, Daos, I was like, you being like way younger, I was like, do I give off like boomer? And he was like, no. He's like, I don't think so at all.
Mm-mm.
But then I was like, there's certain things now where I see on social media that I don't understand.
Like what?
Or even I still feel like you and Daos are very close in like mannerisms, lingo, and slang.
Really?
And I feel like I'm borderline you and Yoatzi. Where like I can get some of your guys' slang and stuff, and then I can get some of Yoatzi's.
What are things that you don't understand?
Okay, the number one thing, this is one that I see all of people in your age and like Daos' age doing a lot. I feel like when y'all get excited, y'all go like,
I don't do that.
Yes, you do. I've seen you do that many times. And I've
let me reenact it.
no, it's more like it's not so much like a thing, it's an excitement thing where like y'all get excited, you're like.
Actually, when I was showing you my nails today, and I was like.
Yeah, there you go. It's like a face scrunch with like your mouth open and y'all are like almost
they
like
all lying.
I know, almost like, so if y'all are listening, I'm gonna try to explain it to you. Almost like when we used to do like not me, I wanna say Yoatzi. When Yoatzi used to do like the rawr pose.
Oh, bitch. Me going, when you used to do that.
It's like when they would scrunch their hand and they would like cover their eye and do like a rawr. But it's kind of that, but more of like it's an excitement thing.
XD.
Yeah. But this is more of an excitement thing where like I've seen Daos do it and I was like, wait, Andrea does that. So then that's when I started seeing TikToks. And
bitch, you do that too.
Yes,
you take photos and go.
But that's more of like it came from me going like, like that was like a mannerism thing for me.
He's like, I'm different.
I know, I like put my hair behind my ear. But this is like almost like y'all's slang, but like in action. I see a lot of youngins doing that. They go like, I've even seen like, I'm not gonna like name drop a bunch of people, but like I've seen a lot of people and I'm like, I don't do that. So I'm like, ooh, all right.
Yes, you do.
I don't, not in the same way. Like if I get excited,
the same vibe.
If I get excited, I'm not gonna go. I'm eating a bud. But I feel like there's newer slang that I still
like what else?
Like I'm trying really hard to be like, I'm still part of young. All right. But like,
no, I get it. Cause I like with the students that I work with, they say so much stuff that I'm like, I don't know what that means. I literally have to tell them, I was like, guys, I don't know what that means. Cause but some of the stuff that they say is actually weird.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to remember
you won't
some, but I can't
understand
remember it right now.
at all.
Yeah. Or even, I mean, Travis, they have like their little kid slang. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And I hate it because I have to ask like, what does that mean?
Or I see like teacher talks when like on TikTok when teachers are like, my student said this in class today. What does it mean? And I'm like, girl, we're in the same boat, mama. Like, I don't know what that means either. Yeah.
Being when you were like younger and you would think of like Andrea you're 22, being 22, do you feel like this is how you were going to feel? Or did you expect to feel more like older? Or did you expect to feel like just about right?
I thought that I would be so wise and so old. Because I
At
think
22?
a lot of like Yoatzi and my mom, dude, Yoatzi at my age, she already had Travis.
Uh-huh.
Was she pregnant with Ella?
No.
No.
Me at 22.
I'm like, Alex, how old was she?
Yeah.
Oh.
She was my age when she had Ella.
Okay, but she already had but she already had a whole child.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine me?
I know.
Right?
kidding,
And like
yeah.
Travis was already 2 years old at when she was 22. Because I think she had him when she was 20.
Too much.
21?
Yeah, 20. She turned.
So
she
he
had
would've been
Travis
2.
and then had.
Can you
she turned
imagine me
21.
with a 2-year-old?
I know.
And like when I would look at her, I like when she was at that stage in her life, I was like, wow, she's so mature. She has her whole life together.
But that's why, like, I'm glad that you're saying that because there's such like a concept to life. I feel like a lot of like, especially women, they'll get like bashed on if they're like a certain age, like you don't have kids yet. But it's like everybody, like I really do feel like everybody's in their own path because I'm 25 and I'm about to turn 26 this year, and I have so many people who I've came across that I went to high school with that have kids,
Yeah.
2 kids, or they own a home already as well. And like, I'm not saying that them having kids is a bad thing, but I'm saying like it is very easy for me to feel like, oh my God, wait, I don't have any kids yet. Like, am I not doing things right? Or like, but it's just like everybody's like in their own path, doing their own thing. Cause like even a few days ago, we were talking with my mom, and my mom was telling us how she had Yoatzi at like 19. And then I was like, wait, bitch, I'm 22 and I still feel like young. Well, not that that makes you old, but I'm saying like you still feel like I want to finish more things before I get that done.
No, I just feel like I do feel very immature because I also have like old high school friends that like they're getting married,
Mm-hmm.
they're homeowners,
Yeah.
or like I don't know, they're just doing their thing. They're doing their
Yeah.
thing. They're doing really well. But I'm like, I could not get married at this age. Like I still feel so immature
Yeah.
for that. Like I like to be married, I feel like takes a level of maturity that I just do not have yet. And that I feel like I think about it when I was little. I used to be like, I'm gonna get married when I'm like 28. But even right now, I'm like,
yes.
hell no, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be mature enough. I'm not gonna be mature enough, sorry, in 6 years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me married in 6
Well, that
years?
was me. Like right now,
That's
bitch, I'm
so
about to turn
weird.
26, and like I have a lot of friends who are already engaged or married and stuff. So people are like asking me, and I'm like, I
Mhm.
mean, I'd love to get married. I want to do a backflip thinking about it, but I'm like kind of scared thinking about that. Like I'm just like, but then I look at like age and like other people around my age, and they're already doing it, and I'm like, I don't feel like
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But it's not a commitment issue thing. It's just that it's like, or maybe it is a commitment. I'm just kidding.
No.
No, it
I
just
think
feels
it's
like
like a
solidified.
yes.
Like it's like,
Like
ya estás vieja.
I have friends that like got like bought houses with their
Mhm.
partners, and I'm like slay.
Yeah.
But also, could I buy a whole house with someone else right now?
But it's like it's different because like I mean I don't know what their situation was, but for example, like in your situation, you just graduated college a year ago.
Mm.
In what world are you gonna be working a job where you are able to pay for college and pay for a house?
Well, they're
And
doing
like,
it.
well, that's what I'm saying.
And
I
they're
don't know. I don't know
slaying.
their situation. Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
like I don't know if like they were able to have a job on the side. Maybe they weren't full time. Maybe like everyone's situation is different. Because for me, I decided to drop out of college, but I told my parents and I made a promise to myself. I was like, if I'm gonna drop out, it's because I'm going to focus on nothing but like making money. If we're being realistic, I was like, I have to make money. So I made it a goal to be like, pues ya no estudié. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Because I'm not just gonna stay here and like twerk every second and think that my life's gonna like get put together. So I made it a goal to be like, I am gonna buy this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna set this. So I feel like you being a full-time student and going to Berkeley is not easy. It's
I
not
graduated already.
I know, but I'm saying it's not like a slice of oh, bitch. Sorry,
Alex just ate
it.
shit.
He's like, shut up, man. Just kidding.
Oh man.
Sorry, y'all. We just had to make sure man was okay. He was like, ah. I think I lost my train of thought. We were talking about just that I basically told myself like not going to college. I have to like get my shit together and stuff. But basically, what I'm trying to get at the end of this conversation is that like everybody has a different path, and I feel like it's scary when you're like, especially with social media, like it's very easy to compare ourselves to like other people and be like, am I not doing what's right? Am I not doing what's wrong? It's like or am I doing things wrong? But I feel like really everybody has a path, and as long as you stay dedicated and you follow your core goals, I feel like you are going to complete everything you want to complete.
Like being so dead ass. I feel like if I get married,
Mhm.
I'll be married when I'm like 35.
And
I'm being
even-
so dead ass.
Wait,
Like I
no.
don't even say that to be like, I know I'm being so dead ass. Like if I ever get married, I feel like it's gonna be when I'm like 35. If I have kids, I'll probably be like 30. I'll probably be like 30 having kids. And
But-
at that point, it's really scary now because like as a woman, like
Yeah.
the older you are, the scarier pregnancy can be just because like of all the like complications. But that doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Yeah.
Every body is different. But I don't know. It just like I dead ass don't think I would.
But isn't
like
it
35.
trippy? Because I feel like we all do it, and now like we're old, we kind of like try to fight it. But like, isn't it scary how like when you're younger and you think about like being in your 30s, you're like, ya estás vieja, pa payasa. But like now that you're thinking
No.
about it, I'm like, wait, 30s like literally not.
30's
at
like
all.
really, really, really young. I feel like
Yeah.
right now because people are so scared of aging,
Mhm.
like in this generation, especially with social media. I feel like people think that 30 is so old, but I'm like, dude, 30 is like you're still slaying. Like
Yeah.
30 is so
30 and thriving.
dude, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I feel like my 20s, I just want to live.
Yeah.
I just want to
Live it.
live. Having kids is such a big responsibility, and they take up so much of your time. And I'm just not ready for that.
And I was
I'm
gonna say
not
earlier,
ready for
like
that, not mature enough for that. Like,
it really is like everybody's path and everybody's decisions and stuff, because I feel like at a very young age, Andrea has been the brains, and she's always just talked about how much she loves school. I feel like you love challenging yourself in your brain.
I miss school so much already.
Yeah, you see, like that is not anything you would ever hear from my mouth. Like that would never come out of my mouth. Like I don't think about school. I don't even like. I hate it.
Oh,
But then
not the
Yoatzi, it's just I fucking hate school. But then Yoatzi, I feel like at a very young age, she wanted to be a mom. Like she
Yeah.
literally, I remember her like even before she had Travis, she'd be like, "I want to be a mom." I was like, "I used to stay." Like
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just like, she was like
She's
saying
always
that
been
out
very
loud.
maternal.
Yeah.
All right.
Maternal, bitch, all twin. Oh no, wait, that's paternal. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like everybody's path is different. Us as siblings, I feel like all three of us kind of have a different. Like you're very scholarly, and you still want to continue like more education. Could not be me.
I want to be like disgustingly educated. Like,
Ew. I'm
because-
already saying ew. Like
it's because no one
got
can
that.
take that away from me.
Yeah.
No one can take-
I wish I could do that though. I wish I could challenge myself. Like
Like, don't you just love learning new stuff?
no. I'm just kidding. I'm like clearly. I was kidding. No.
Like, it's so nice. I miss.
What I like to do is I like to personally.
I like to
challenge
party.
myself. I know. I'm like I like to see how many parties I can attend in a week.
Move.
No, I like to mentally challenge myself with like personal goals where like I won't say things out loud, but like I'll be like when I bought my house, I didn't tell my parents I was
Mm.
looking for a house. I don't think I even told you. I think I told Yoatzi only because I needed advice on how to go about it. But I was like, I'm not gonna tell anyone because I was also scared of like not being able to do it. But I was like mentally be like, I have to make this much money to be able to do this much, and just like kind of secretly like doing it and stuff. But I feel like that's the satisfaction you get from learning. When you take a test or you're just like being asked these questions and you know all this information. Like I feel like you have that like, oh my God, I know these things. And it's easy to. Like I get fascinated asking anybody who has like a knowledgeable
Dude, I
brain.
love people that are like Google. That they
Yeah.
like you can ask them anything and they just
It
know the
fascinates
most like
me.
random facts or just
Yeah.
like I'm not like that. I don't have like random facts stored in my brain.
Not random facts, but I remember when I was in college and I was asking or I would be asking Yoatzi, and Andrea would like overhear. She'd be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bitch, shut up.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Dude,
just like, how
I
do you
just
know
remembered
that?
that unlocked a part of my brain. I was like editing Yoatzi's essays for
Oh,
school.
I do remember that.
I just remember that I
Yeah.
would edit her little essay.
Yeah, you see,
It's
like,
wild. Just remember that.
there's a lot of power in knowledge, and I saw this. My source is Cardi B. I'm like sourcing her. No, but it's true. She was saying how like she wishes that she would have finished her education or gone to like business school, because she's like, do you know how much money I spend?
She could still go back.
No, yeah, but
You
like
can
with
always
her
go back.
having like her music career and whatever, she's like, do you know how much money I spend like hiring somebody to do my taxes, somebody to do this, somebody. She's like, I wish I had that knowledge to be able to do that. She's like, but I have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for people to do these because I don't know these things. And like low key, that's like me. Unless I'm learning as I'm going, that's sickening. But like for the most part, I'm like, I don't know these things. So I have to like pay someone who did learn or just knew how to do these things. And I'm just like, that's, or even Fern, like I'll have little conversations with him and he'll just tell me things and I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, he's like, we learned that in school. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. He's like, we all should have. And I'm like,
No, yeah. Fern's really smart too.
or, okay, let me see if I don't butcher this. He recently told me, because, okay, there's this one video where, remember that one game where you hold a phone over your forehead? And if you guess
Heads
it
up?
right, heads up, you have to like guess it up,
Mhm.
guess it down. I don't know if you've ever seen that one video though, where the lady's like, the country right above us. And she's like, Mexico? She's like, the country right
Oh.
above us, not below us. So
I've never seen that video, but
well,
okay.
she's basically just asking like what country's above us.
Canada.
In Canada, right?
Yeah.
But she was saying, they say tongue dresser, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, babe. I was
What?
like, she was saying that they speak like Italian. And I was like, wait, babe. I was like,
Oh.
but that's Canada. Long story short, he was just saying how like, I guess back in the fucking day, I guess
Yeah.
they were the ones who founded Canada, but then the English took Canada.
Yes.
But I didn't know that.
Like the Dutch.
Yes,
the
and he was like, well,
French.
they killed them, and that's why they got it. And I was like, wait, what the
Do you
fuck?
know who was here like first?
In the US?
No. That's why.
I imagine it's like basic math.
No,
No, I really
that's
don't
why.
know who was here
Like
for
the
it.
13 colonies.
Like who founded it?
Who colonized it?
But who founded it?
Ugh.
Wait, what?
Wow, that's wild.
So who colonized it? Oh yeah, well that's why we call them colonizers.
Yeah, I'm all giving him a
Yeah,
bad
that. I feel like on us, I might know a few things here and there, like they'll pop in. But when it comes to like everywhere else around us, like even Canada, I was like, wait, what? Like that was my first time
Well,
hearing
because
that.
there was like indigenous people like everywhere. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, there was no the colonizers.
Yeah.
Like they had like boundaries when they were coming.
But you see what helps is that like I feel like someone like you or like
So
Fern, you guys are able to explain it to me in a way where I can ask you as many questions as I can think of for me to actually understand it, and you're gonna answer, and then I'll be like, oh, and I
but
can
they
leave.
did teach us this in
No, they did, but that's what I'm saying is like I feel comfortable enough to ask you
Oh.
this many questions, and you're gonna answer me, and then I'll be like, oh, like basically, you know how some teachers say, no question is a dumb question, but then you'll
Yeah.
ask and they're like, hey! Like pay attention, or they're like, read your book, and I'm like, bitch,
Dude,
that was very me.
but that blows my mind. Like I wonder, okay, this is
Uh,
gonna seem very like I don't know
What?
if condescending is the right word. I
I
don't
don't
mean
know
to
what that
sound
means.
I don't mean to sound like a bitch, but I wonder how much you don't know.
I don't know a lot.
Like it just blows my mind how much I think you know that you
I
might not
don't.
know.
No.
You know, when Yoatzi, like a long time ago, she was like, Yoatzi's, or Andrea's kind of a smart ass, where like she just kind of assumes
Yeah.
that everyone knows. But it's because it blows my mind.
Yeah, no, I don't know a lot of things. No, but it's just like I think I've talked about this before, y'all. It's not that I didn't care to learn. It's just at a very young age, they basically told my mom that I had ADD, and
Learning differences and teachers weren't working with you.
yeah,
those learning
and the doctor's solution at the moment was for them to give me like pills for me to kind of relajarme, be able to sit still and be able to like learn. But my mom didn't want to give me that. and
Adderall.
Yeah, I think it was some sort of like Adderall. But also shout out to my mom, and I'm so thankful she did because she kind of let my creativity flow, even though I was a pain in the ass. I was a very impulsive and like like I couldn't sit still kind of a child. But
You had a
even
lot of
now,
energy.
I've had people tell me now, they're like, have you tried like Adderall to like, you know, or go get diagnosed again? Because that was when I was a little kid. And like I've thought about it because there are times where my mind is like, and like I can't get one thing done before I start something else because just won't stop thinking. And I've thought about it, but then I get scared because I'm like,
Try it.
but as much as it like it's bad for me sometimes, it's also really good for me because that's where I feel like all my creativity comes from.
I mean, if you've learned to work with it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, but The other difference is at the time when I was younger, I was a lot more like so I feel like I didn't really care to learn about these things, or I just couldn't understand, or
I mean, it's hard to make a child like sit through
yeah.
like a lesson, and then if you have like learning differences on top of that,
Yeah,
it's
and
even
then
harder.
I'll talk a lot of shit about teachers, but also at the same time, like putting myself in teachers' shoes, like I'm like, well, when you do have like 35, 30 students, like it's hard to give your all to one person when you got to move fast over a lesson. So I get that as well, but I feel like if I would have just had the time to like really ask all the questions, I feel like maybe I would have learned. I did that in college. In college is where I took it a lot more serious, and I would stay after class and talk to like my professors, but like they actually would give me a lot of time, but I would be there for so long. Because I was like, I need a pass. Because I was already in college, I was like, bitch, if I fail right, I just wasted all this time. Yeah, so it was difficult, but even after all that, I don't think school is in like my future.
I mean, some people don't like it. They're more hands-on.
Yeah.
They're more creative.
You said hands on.
F you.
Yeah, I don't know. I
know.
even know some people now who will go back to school and are going to school again. Like who maybe left school and came back, and I'm like, that's sickening. Like, I'm gonna give my flowers to you. But I'm like, I don't see that happening for me.
No, yeah. And like for me, I feel like I'm just not very otra vez me.
He's like, ah,
Just almost fell again. He tripped on some wires. But I feel like I'm not very creative.
Yes, you are.
But not like
or don't eat me out. But you're not. I wouldn't say you're not really. I don't know if this falls into the same category. I was gonna say you're not very creative, like in that aspect, but you're very artistic. I don't know if that falls into this. You're very artistic, where like at a young age, you were always into coloring. You were always into making like little like your clay things, or like even now, I feel like with the way that your whole home is decorated, that's all you.
Like I basically I have no hobbies. Like nah, right? But no, I do have hobbies. But I wish I had more like creative and like expressive. Like it'd be so cool if I could play an instrument.
Wait, but that is expressive, right, y'all? Like if I'm saying that she's very like artistic and stuff, I feel like that's.
But I feel like I don't really practice it anymore because I feel very guilty when I'm not working. Like if I'm not working, I need to be better at that. I think I talked about this for our New Year's resolutions. Like if I'm not working, then I just feel very guilty. So I don't let myself like do my hobby. But I think it'd be so cool to like play an instrument or like pottery. Like so cool.
That'd be really
I want to
cute.
take like pottery classes.
Yeah. You just feel like you're not being productive in a way. Like if you're
Like-
doing that instead of like working or cleaning
Yes,
or
like if I'm
something.
not like working or cleaning, that I'm like I'm being so unproductive and I'm wasting my whole day. But that is so like that's such a bad
Yeah.
mentality.
I feel
I
like
need
you
to work
are
on that.
very creative. I feel like some of like my favorite gifts that you've given have always been like, or even just like this last Christmas, your little wrapping paper. Something as simple as that. We all just go buy commercial like fucking wrapping paper, but she bought like just like how would you describe it?
Think of like paper bags.
Yeah,
I
like a
just bought
paper
like
bag.
a roll of like brown paper.
But then
that
she
I,
put like
like-
cute little bows, and she put the time for every single one of them.
And I like
And I'm
drew
like, oh,
little
that's cute.
stuff on.
Yeah, and like for me, I just bought like commercial wrapping paper and I fucking put it all together. I was fucking pissed.
I feel like I'm very creative when it comes to gifting things to people, but I'll never do it for
Yeah.
myself. Like
Because
if I'm doing something for someone, then I feel like there's a purpose.
Point.
There's like a point. But if it's just for me, I'm like,
one of my favorite gifts that she ever gave me, if y'all are an OG and y'all watched me when I was still like in Watsonville, I had this one canvas that said Louie on it, and it was with crayons, and she melted all of the crayons. And basically you could just see my name. It's like carved out with like all the crayons melted. And I feel like you gave that to me for a birthday, like a long ass time
I don't remember
ago.
how old I was. I was
Yeah,
probably,
you were young.
probably like 12.
And then Andrea, I brought this story into it a little bit because Andrea used to make like little clay things. And one time I made a pipe with her clay.
Oh, yeah.
I've talked about that on the podcast. But she had this whole box. And it's weird because I saw that trending
think it's
again on
still-
TikTok.
Oh no, yeah.
It's like it's still a thing.
Yeah, because people make like jewelry out of clay, or people make like little magnets.
Yeah.
Or people
It's because I've been seeing that
Literally
recently on like my TikTok, and I
charms.
was like, oh, wait, Andrea used to do this. But
Add a whole box.
and I feel like now she'll always bring up like, let's color. I feel like that's another creative outlet. Like we'll just,
Bobby Goods.
yeah.
Alright.
I'm like sponsor us. Nah, just kidding.
Sponsor
Yeah,
us,
but
Bobby Goods.
you're definitely an artistic kind of person. I think Yoatzi has that in her as well. I
Dude,
think
yes. I feel like she's the most creative one.
I
She's
think because
always doing like little crafts. Even for like
Yeah.
holidays, she's always like
yeah, or the
making the
games. And I'm like,
games.
I could never. Like she'll put them
Yes.
together and
And
stuff.
I'm like,
Yeah. That's even me now. Like even for like, so for me, my idea of fun is I like to be outdoor. I don't care what the hell we're doing. I just want to be outside. All
I
right.
like
I
that
like
too.
at the clubs. That's kidding. No, it's just like when it comes to art and things like that, I love it and I appreciate it and I wish I could do it, but I'm very impatient to the point where I'm like, and like I just have to get up or I have to do something where I'm like, oh, it's taking forever. Yeah. And I appreciate it so much, but I just can't do it. So I think maybe that's why I love when like you make me something, or I've even bought art from like some of y'all who have made art. Like there was a time where I was like, you guys, I want to buy art from you guys. So anybody who makes stuff, like please DM me and I'll buy stuff from you. But because I appreciate it, because I know it's something I can't do. But I love seeing it. I love seeing people put the time into it. But yeah, I don't think I could do that. I can't do anything. I'm like, can't study, I can't learn, I can't draw.
Yes, you can. Making your videos, that was like art. Editing.
Yeah.
Do you still edit?
Not no more.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought you were still edit.
Recently, I stopped, and that's why I have so many YouTube videos coming out.
Oh.
It's just, it became too overwhelming where it's like, there's too many things going on that like I couldn't. And I wasn't uploading anymore, and people were like, why are you uploading? But it was like, I didn't have the time to edit, and then it was just like, but that's another lesson that I'm learning. And it was one of my goals for this year was to tell myself that help is okay. Because I like to always be like, no, I can do it. I can do it. And like I would almost feel like I was like not doing good enough if I was asking for help. But it's been a really big help. We even just like something so simple, y'all, where like, man, he basically takes care of all of Pretty Not Smart. He's like in the back end. Before man, it was me. I was doing all of the lights. I was doing all the recording. I was doing all this stuff, and it got really hectic to like where I feel like I wasn't enjoying it. And then Meg came on the team, and I was like, wait, like it feels kind of nice. Like it's like I can just focus on doing rather than like the whole back end stuff.
No, yeah. I feel like that can easily get burnt out.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. Burnt out. I would get burnt out very easily. And I was like, I'm over it. Or I would like even think about it. And it's something fun, but it's just thinking about setting up for it or editing after. I was just like, can't do it. Because then I'm thinking about what else I have to do. And I'm like,
And it's because you guys don't have like a schedule.
Yeah, that's
like you're kind of on the clock time.
Yeah, whenever we're free. But nonetheless, it's all. Oh,
Mayana.
That's his third time falling, y'all.
I feel like the fourth time he's gonna drop all the equipment. He's gonna go,
Like,
oh!
This episode of Pretty Not Smart is brought to you by Huggies Little Snugglers. Huggies is the only leading brand with all-around blowout protection for sizes 1 and 2. All of my parents out there know there is nothing worse than a blowout. It is so stressful when you least expect it and you get a blowout from baby. But if you are ready to avoid that happening to you in the future, you can trust that Little Snugglers will have your back. Huggies Little Snugglers are up to 100% leak-proof with blowout protection in the front and back on sizes 1 and 2. So you can feel confident relying on them for your little ones. Huggies Little Snugglers, now with blowout protection in every direction. Sizes 1 and 2. Huggies, we got you, baby.
What I was gonna say was nonetheless, I still very much enjoy what I do, and it's just like asking for help is good for like everything, even like for me being organized and stuff. Like I need help, you guys. But moving away from that subject to something brighter. I feel like me and you had a very true childhood experience growing up.
Yes.
I feel like we did everything that a child should have done, and now it's kind of hard seeing that. Like, I feel like a lot of kids just don't do it the way that we used to. All right, we're all like in a game. I'm just kidding. But it's like, I remember like me and you, like, we would do the whole shebang. I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate, where we would do like little dances together.
Dude,
We would like play outside
Our
with all our
childhood?
friends.
so nice. Like,
I
I
love
think
our
of like
childhood.
the pink house, and I just can't believe that was even real. There was like
Yeah.
20 kids just running around.
Yeah,
We'd play
everyone in
freeze
the alley,
tag. We'd play freeze
the
tag.
cops and robbers.
Yes, and like when you'd go on the trees at what was
Oh
her
yeah, Lucero.
Lucero, yeah, we're all putting her.
I know. She's like, why y'all
Lucero.
mention me? I'm just kidding.
But when you'd go on
Yeah.
the trees at Lucero's
We would play like
house.
hide and seek and tag, but in one of our neighbors' house who had a bunch of trees. So we'd be on the trees like little
Dude,
monkeys, like
yes.
tag, and then running each other.
And she
from
had a
the
bunch of
tree.
chickens, and I feel
Yeah.
like she grew some sort of fruit, like plums.
I don't even know.
I don't know, but
It
we'd
was
be
a
like
lot.
eating like fruit off her trees.
Or like we would get like chalk and we would on the street draw like
Oh,
little roads and we would play with like our
yes.
little bikes pretending like we'd go in a drive-through.
Do you remember when we used to stand in front of Sandra's house
Mhm.
and we'd
go in front of
send, like,
cars?
statues, and we send like dude.
Yes, that was dangerous.
Why would we? That's so embarrassing.
You
too.
guys, we were like,
Mm-mm.
we would play out in the streets, and every time a car would come, we would block the whole street and stand there and pretend like we were statues and wait for the cars to like honk at us to move. But we'd like
We're
just
so
stay there.
annoying.
And we were so annoying. But now that I think about it, I'm like, babe, I would run some kids over.
Dude, I'd be pissed. Imagine
No, it's
you're
just
trying to go home after
home.
a long shift.
And then we were
these
like all
freaking little
pendejos.
kids.
I
all,
know. And we would literally stay there until they were like, "Can
But I
you guys
remember we
move?"
started doing it like in the driveway too. After we're like,
After we're like, okay, we're gonna get run over.
no, yes.
But we had-
Or remember when we used to tie? I don't know if I made this up. That we used to tie like skateboards and like bikes together,
Oh, the bikes.
and we'd go down like
Yeah,
the little hill,
the bikes.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because at the time I was almost embarrassed to admit this out loud, but now that I look back at it, I'm like, no, like I had a very happy childhood. Sorry. I was still playing outside with them as a freshman.
That is so baby. As a freshman, you're still like 14.
No, but like when I was a freshman, everyone was already smoking pot and doing crack and beating each other up. So I remember
Not me.
I'd be like in high school, like freshman, sophomore, and everybody like, hey, what's up, Louie? Like, blah, like trying to dab me up and stuff. And I'd like be pretending, but then I had to go home and be like, you wanna play tag? Like,
With your blue hair.
yes. No, that was middle school. But like full on picturing me like 15, 16, like at
No.
school, just being like, hey, what's up?
As a
And then-
freshman, you're like 14, 15.
but then I'd go play tag.
So?
No, y'all know
Whoa.
y'all would have bullied me. Yeah, just kidding. But it was funny because Andrea and all of my other friends from the neighborhood were younger than me. So I was a freshman and Andrea was a sixth grader. Ah, maybe now that I put it like that, you're like, wait, you were a sixth grader and I was out there playing
I was
with
all
them.
quiet.
Yeah, she was like, wait, that's actually a little weird. You're like, actually, now that you put it,
I'm like, you shouldn't have been playing with us.
it's because when you
Alright.
hear the age 15, 16, you're like, oh, you're still young. But then, like, me being a freshman and you being a sixth grader, I was like, you're like all huge, running after you guys. Ya estaba viejo pa payaso.
Babe, it is because all our friends were even younger than me.
And then our friends were younger.
they were
so
like
they were like,
fifth grade. No,
they were
I'm kidding.
man, fucking preschool. No, they were like in fifth grade. But I was full on.
And we were all in the backyard making our PE t-shirts.
I know. Full on,
No,
just
Louis
like.
was getting in and like he would fucking make little PE t-shirts and it said, what was it, Castro's PE, and would make them run laps around
Okay.
the neighborhood.
Let me explain. So, I don't even know what to say. During summer,
Wait, let me explain, guys.
what?
No, that's how you.
During summer, I was so bored out of my mind. Okay, but also picture this. Elementary school, all of middle school, my parents would always put me in after school program. So Andrea and Yoatzi would be at home chilling, I'd be after school program. So finally high school after school program wasn't really a thing unless you had to like make up credits and whatnot. So I finally didn't have after school program. So during summer, I was like so bored. Or I mean summer school, sorry. Summer, I was so bored that I basically got all the little kids from like our neighborhood.
We made a PE club.
We made a PE club where like every morning I would make them run miles and shit.
No, I need to put our little dots
No.
on us.
But I would make shirts and the club was called Castro PE. But get this, y'all. I made them buy the t-shirts.
I don't remember you making
I
them
made
buy
them
it.
buy
Really?
them. Yeah, I was money hungry. I just kidding. I was making money even when I was little. But I would make them buy. I think they were only like $5.
Hey, you were hustling.
But I would buy white shirts.
No, he would put in.
And
The work.
remember, and I would paint them, and I would like put utensils.
They were
and I
cute.
would
He
put,
would
like,
use little
Castro,
stencils.
PE.
I remember our mascot was a panther.
I was gonna say our mascot
pink
was
panther?
a panther, and then I would draw like a big ass like paw on the back.
Dude, yes, they were
But-
kind of cunty.
They'd be running, and then like every time they'd pass me, I'd give them a dog.
Dude, and then I was all stressed. I mean, the girls started like, "Hey, give me your stamp," and then we started stamping each other
Oh.
because we wanted it.
Yeah, I feel like I hustled a lot when I was. Remember how we used to charge them for us to make over their little stuffed animals?
Oh my gosh, yes. So we all had like our stuffed animals were all like destroyed, like dirty.
All of ours.
And like Louis would do little makeovers on them. So
Yeah.
we'd get them, he'd like wash them all by hand. And then he'd like, if they had, let's just say that this one, if like the eyes were all unstained, he would like go in with a Sharpie
and like color them.
color
So then I
them
started
in.
charging like
and then he started like putting like clear polish on the
Yeah,
glossy
the
eyeballs
eyes.
to make them. It was giving Woody from
very that. That's what
Toy
was my
Story.
inspo. So I
Yeah.
started charging all the kids in the neighborhood like
a quarter. or
a
something.
quarter. It was like
I
25
remember
cents.
Charging like little quarters.
Yeah, I'd
and
be like,
no,
it's a quarter.
he had like bags,
I
like
was like,
bags.
and my mom would be
full
like,
of stuff.
no,
No, yeah, like bags full of his stuffed animals that he was gonna fix.
yeah.
Remember that?
It was
That's so
fun though.
wild.
And then there was a time too where I'm telling y'all, me and Andrea had a whole separate like childhood from Yoatzi. There was a time
Yeah.
where me and Andrea, it started off with me and Andrea painting our mailbox from outside.
Oh yeah.
And then our neighbor,
she saw.
she was like, "Oh, how much would you charge us?" And we were like scared. I think we charged her $10.
Yeah, something like that.
We charged her $10, and we were like, "Oh!" And
We
then-
thought we were rich.
yeah,
We were for
for our age.
our age.
alright.
Hey.
So
Mhm.
she paid us $10. I think she ended up giving us 20 at the end, so we could split it evenly. But then we painted her mailbox, and then we started going around the neighborhood with like our little paints. We're like, "Can we paint your mailbox?" I think we only painted one other one. and-
Yeah, and then we like moved or something.
yeah, but
I remember. Across the street.
we were definitely hustling. Wait, I just remembered a story that I want to know if you remember. It still irks me to this day because
Mm.
that's probably my first experience ever being like gaslit. All right. Do you remember when we lived in Vista Montaña
Yes.
and we had bikes and those
Oh, and they stole
stupid
our
bitches
bikes?
stole our bikes?
And they were all using them in front of our face.
Oh my God,
I still
y'all.
remember that.
So where we used to live, we had bikes, and we lived in some apartments. So there was like, oh my God, it was probably like 40 apartments in that one little building. And we had bikes, and we didn't have space for them. No, not that we didn't have space for them. We lived on the 3rd floor, which was the highest floor up, and it was a BITCH bringing our bikes up and down every time we wanted to use them. And me and I loved using our bikes. So there was like a little area downstairs on the 1st floor where you could leave your bikes. So we left them there and we chained them up and everything. Somehow these stupid bitches got our bikes, and they thought that by removing all the stickers on our bikes that we wouldn't know that they were our bikes. My bike was brown with like a
Like
reddish
red.
undertone.
Mine was purple, right?
It was like a pastel
Yeah,
purple
like
with baby blue.
Yes.
And tell me why our bikes were gone. We're like, what the heck? So we fully thought they were gone. Maybe a week later or two, these bitches pull up with our bikes without all the stickers, like all the branded stickers. I said, like, I don't know, whatever the brand was. But the colors were exactly the same. And we're like, those are our bikes. And they were like, no, they're not. We just bought them.
Dude, I can't believe.
Yeah, and I
evil
remember
ass.
I tried fighting them, but even their parents were in on it. Like, no, those are their bikes. I bought them. And I was like,
That's so weird.
yeah. And I was like, how are you going to say those are your bikes when
That's
you
so
literally just removed all the stickers? And then my parents have never really liked being in beef. So I think my parents even tried talking to them, but their parents
My
were like, no.
parents, we were like, dude, our apartment was all little. Like I didn't realize we were struggling because my parents never like really
Told
let
us.
us know that we're struggling. Like we had a very happy like childhood, even
Yeah.
if we weren't the best off. But like it makes me so mad knowing now that my parents were struggling and then they fucking stole our bikes.
Stole our bikes.
Dude,
big
it literally
times.
makes me so mad. It
That's
makes
why
me
I'm
so
like-
mad.
And I remember like fully being like, maybe it is their new bikes. But now I remember, I
hella
always
gaslit
randomly
us.
remember, I'm like, ooh, those were my fucking, I wish I would have been like, bitch.
Dude, no, yeah. We should have put up a bun.
I shut up. I wish I can go back in time.
Me too.
I still know what they look like.
Me too. I
still
literally
know
yes.
Yeah, like I feel like if I were to see
imagine
her,
her.
I'd be
She's
like,
like right
"Bitch."
here.
Yeah.
She just like manifested
Yeah,
in front of
she's
me.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah,
No,
I
can
still
see
remember
her.
what that bitch
I
looks
wonder if they know who we are.
like. Bitch, you stole my bike. You know who I am.
And
Just
she's all
kidding.
watching. I'm like,
I know.
"Sure, bye.
And I flip her
I
off.
remember you.
She's like, it was me. Huh? I just couldn't imagine she comments.
She's like, I still live there.
I
We go to her
know.
apartment.
Okay,
I'm
wait.
like,
I
I know
have
where you live.
another funny story from those apartments.
That wasn't funny. That
Oh
one
wait,
was
that
sad.
wasn't funny. I know. No, this is a funny one. I don't think you were a part of it, but I want to know if I ever told you about it.
I think I know something with shoes.
No.
Okay, tell me.
Shoot.
Tell me. My foot.
I know. So when we lived in these apartments, y'all, I had made 2 guy friends, and they were my little homies. So I started hanging out with them. And one time, and I remembered because I was riding my bike. I was riding a bike, and one of my other friends was also riding a bike. And it was at that park that's right in front of the apartments. And tell me why we're riding our bikes, and I see a folder. And I'm like, oh, let me stop. It's a folder. I don't know why I stopped. I opened it, and there's $300 in that folder.
Mhm. I remember this.
Yeah? I'm pretty
Yes.
sure it was $300. And I was like, oh my God, there's money. And my friend was like, wait, what? And I was like, there's money. And I think it was all like in 20s. So can you imagine how much that looked like? And for me being like, I don't even know. I don't think I was even in high school. I was still, I was still in middle school.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I'm rich. And like, I
I
full on
mean,
was like, oh my
even for
God.
me today, $300,
Yeah,
babe,
bitch.
I'm rich.
No, I was a millionaire. I'm just
No,
kidding.
yes.
I was like, oh my God. So I was just like
I'd be
fully
doing
gagged.
backflips.
And I don't think I even told my parents when I found it because I was like, I knew it belonged to somebody. I was just like, it has to belong to somebody, but I found it.
And you're like,
mine.
it has to belong to me.
I know, yeah. So I was just like, well, this is mine now. Get your ass up and hold my hand. So I remember I kept the money and I had it secretive and I would only pull out of it whenever I needed it. I think I think I full on kept it for maybe a month. And I think I only spent like $50 out of all of that. And randomly, because remember I told you I had 2 friends, but that day I was bike riding with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Randomly,
I
we're
know
all
the
hanging
story.
out. Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, randomly, we're all hanging out. And one of my friends is like, oh, you guys, I'm so sad. A while back, I lost $300 that my grandma gave me and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and then I was like, how'd you lose it? He was like, I was at the park playing. He's like, I had it in a folder and like it all fell. And I was like, oh. And in my head, I was like, well, there's no fucking way he's making it up. It was exactly $300. It was in a folder and like,
Imagine the other friend told him.
for real, they all scammed me. Well, in my head, I was like, well, that's nice. I did it. But I don't want to tell him I had it because I was like, that's my money. It had already been a month. So at that point, it was like somebody else could have already found it and like spent it all. But then my guilt, my conscience got the best of me. And I was like, so I don't remember how I told him, but I was like, here's your money. And he was like, wait, what? But I just remember him being so happy. He didn't even question me. He was just like, but I never told, because I almost didn't want to give it to him because I knew I had to spend those $50. And I was like, I'm not going to pay him back.
He didn't care?
Well, I didn't even tell him I took $50. I just gave it to him like that. I think he was just so happy that at that point it was like, I charged him a founder's fee. But he never told me anything about it. I think at that point he was so happy to get it back. But now that you're saying that, I'm low-key thinking, what if him and that guy were like, came up on me and they were like, just tell him, dude, and we'll split the money. So they came up on me. Now that I'm thinking back, that was too specific.
Mm-hmm.
He was like,
I found it in a folder in this very specific corner of the park.
And it was a month later.
You would not, yeah. Hey, I think you got scammed.
They finessed me. Because
I think your ass got scammed.
Because I didn't share shit with the guy that I was with because I found it and I stopped. So then maybe he was like, I want some of that money. And they were older than me.
I remember.
Great. Well, I just discovered it.
I think we just figured out that you were scammed.
Yeah.
Poor Louie.
I want my money back. All right. Yeah. What would I have spent that $300 on?
Your skateboard, your penny board, what was that one board that was like diamonds on it was like a little skinny stick in the middle and then kind of like diamonds on the side and it would like move into different. You know what I'm talking about?
A swish board or some shit.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what we're talking about.
What was it called?
A ripstick.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that just took me back to 1970.
No, dude.
Like hella young. But I was bringing all those stories up because kids nowadays don't do
They
it
don't
like we
play.
did.
Dude, no, remember those neighbors? I don't even know how we met them. But when we were living by like the Pinna Lake house, those neighbors that had a big old backyard and they had a whole tree house. And we would go play in their tree house.
I remember exactly what you're talking about.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to name drop.
Yeah,
But,
me either.
but then remember when we would like take berries from their tree and make like little
Oh,
paint?
yeah.
Dude, like
Wait,
we lived
that was-
so many lives.
That
That's kinda
Loki was
sickening.
almost giving that one book, no, not the Jungle Book. What was that one book where the kid goes into like
Narnia?
where the wild things are? What is
Where
it?
the wild things are. That's what it's
That's
called.
what it's called? It was giving. Okay, let me tell you guys. So these friends of ours had money. Like,
Like they had like 3 big old backyards.
Mhm.
Their like final backyard was connected to like
The
a
forest.
forest. It was connected to a forest. We couldn't even go like super far into the forest because there was like wildlife. And if we went back there, like
yeah.
it was no
You just
good.
unlocked a whole memory for
Dude,
me.
yes. And then remember we had to cross a little river to
So,
go to the treehouse?
They had so much land. And like Andrea said, it was their main backyard, which was their cute, safe backyard, like it's a regular backyard.
And they had little trees, like fruit
Uh-huh.
trees. They were growing. They had like a swing. I
And then
think,
there was
too.
like a fence to the other backyard, which was already getting a little like wilderness.
Mhm.
And then their third one, you had to cross. They put like a little piece of wood so you can cross the little lake or whatever the fuck it was. And then you would get to their third backyard, which was literally the forest. And we had a fucking treehouse that we built and shit.
We had a whole tree house. We like, I don't know why we made paint, but we made paint out of like
painting
berries. No, like we had a childhood.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We
childhood.
wouldn't even tell my parents. We'd just be in the fucking forest.
No, yeah, we'd be like, be back.
Yeah.
We'd be all in the trees.
And then I caught a frog named Prudence.
Remember the dragonfly?
Oh, then we were like, I don't know
Yes.
who did that. I forgot.
That was you.
Oh, was it? I don't know who did that.
Wait, remember Pinna Lake when we got lost in the forest and my parents had to go find us?
Oh, yeah. Pinot Lake is like this huge park in Watsonville, and it's also connected to like wildlife and stuff. But like the further you
it's
go,
huge.
we ended up going way too far and we don't know how to get out.
No,
It's
it's
humongous.
that we went too far and I think we were like taking photos
The
because we
sunset.
were goofy. Yeah, for sunset. Then once the sun set,
We were
we
scared to
couldn't
go
get
back.
back out.
we
We
didn't know
literally
how.
couldn't see and it
Yeah.
had just rained. So it was super muddy. It was like us and I think Adolfo, like one
I don't
other
even know
friend.
who.
And it was super muddy. We had to call our parents, but then there was no signal. I don't know how they found us.
We were like, help us.
No, and there was no light, so my parents came with like flashlights to go get us. We were so annoying.
That's
Our poor
funny.
parents.
Yeah, you see, Yoatzi never got down and dirty like that.
No, she was in her room taking her raw XD
I
photos.
know. I was like teasing her hair.
No,
with a
yes.
bottle of vodka. I was just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
throwing
Yoat-
her parties at
Yeah.
the house. Yoatzi was so rebelde.
She was very much like a rebel teen.
She was like the angry teenage daughter.
Yeah.
right?
Me and Andrea were like, we want to paint.
No, and we'd ask her, we'd be like, want to play with us?
Oh, yeah.
She'd be like,
She'd shut her door.
oh, yes.
Okay,
Hell no.
I want to switch gears again. I feel like I keep switching gears, but this is like, I'm excited that Andrea's here and I can ask her all these questions and see if she remembers things. Like I've said many times, Andrea is very different from us.
She's a weird one.
No. We're all very similar, but very different. And one of the things
I'm
that
scared.
is like the biggest difference.
She's ugly.
Bitch, no. It's your type. Do you want to talk about? You might not. It's funny because even people notice. You want to talk about that?
Ew, no, that's weird.
Why?
I don't want to talk about men.
Well, I just want to talk about like
I feel like I even got all red.
you did. But I just find it funny. All right. No. You like break the mic.
No, next. I'm leaving. I'm going to pack my bag and I'm going to go.
You're like, I'm actually not going to be a co-host.
Mm-mm.
Why?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm like, oh no, never mind.
What, man? Now you're all restricted.
I was not going to shade you.
Hey! You're mean.
Next.
Okay, fine. I guess we'll talk about mother. I'm just kidding. We all start shading my mom.
I feel like I'm literally red.
No. Okay, I have another question for you. Do you like being the younger sibling. I feel like there's a lot of differences between being the oldest, the middle, and the youngest. And we're like the perfect three.
I think I need to know what your perspective of being the youngest is. Because for me,
Um,
I'm like indifferent.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think it would be, I think like you and Yoatzi would have very different opinions.
Because you feel like I'm just like there's no difference between being the youngest. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
From an outside POV, if you're the younger one in your family, y'all let me know if I align correctly with your views or if y'all just don't see it this way. Sometimes I feel like as a youngin, there's more pressure.
Eh,
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like they're more livianitos with me. It's interesting
Okay.
you say that though, because one of my students the other day, he was like, "Are you the oldest?" And I was
You're
like,
like, thanks.
I was like, "No,"
Huh.
and he's like, "Really?" It's like, he's like, "You give oldest sister energy." I think I behave different. Obviously, I'm more like
Yeah.
stern on my students. I feel like that's why I give more like to them older sister energy. But I thought that was so weird
Uh-huh.
that
You were like,
I
wait,
was
what?
like, never been asked that.
That's very much a thing. I feel like there's a you could tell like who's the older, who's the middle, and who's the younger. Well, actually, I don't know. Now that I'm speaking it out loud, there's a lot of people who think I'm the oldest, even when I'm with
Really?
Yoatzi. Yes, like 90% of people, even like in our meetings or anything, they're like, "Wait, who's older?" And I'm like, "Her." They're like,
Thanks.
"Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, I thought you were the older one." I'm like, "Great." No, but I could see why. Since Yoatzi's a little airheaded, but like personally for me, I love being the middle, and I don't know if I would want to be the oldest. I feel like there's
No, I feel
that's
like Yoatzi was a test monkey.
yeah. There you go. Like she had to go through
Pobrecita.
like a
No, yeah.
lot.
Like,
My parents were like, "Wait," she like lost her finger, broke her head open. Like,
yes.
it's just you're the little guinea pig.
Yeah, she's literally the guinea pig.
And then being the youngest, I don't know if I would want to because I feel like maybe I worded that wrong. Not that it's harder to be not that there's more pressure, but I feel like you're babied a lot.
Oh, well, that's two completely
Yeah,
different
I was gonna say I
things.
think I worded it differently because me seeing you, although you are 21, like I feel like in my head 22, sorry. Well, you see, I'm telling you, you still look young in my head. In my head, I feel like even though I know you're 22, I still get scared thinking of you doing a lot of things, and I'm like, and I feel like I see
Oh,
that in
yeah.
my parents too. My parents are like, like although
Okay,
we're
no,
very more
yes.
freeing with you, definitely a lot more open and freeing with her, but we're all very much like, don't. Or like something as simple as like, we don't let her dye her hair. How scary. No, she's asked us quite a few times to be like, I want to dye my hair. And we're like, no, do
Mhm.
not mess up your virgin, beautiful colored hair. Because Andrea has a very beautiful color, brown.
The comments are like,
I know. They're like, wait, what?
they're like,
please
they're
let her
like, can
dye
you please
it.
let her dye it black?
It's just, I think you have such a pretty virgin hair color that I'm like, please don't dye it because you're going to fuck it up. But something as simple as that, where like, maybe we throw all of our past experiences onto you.
No, yeah. Because, okay, in my head, I'm so independent. Because I'm like, I live 7 hours away.
Mhm.
When I visit, I drive here by myself.
Mhm.
I drive all that time, you
Yeah.
know? And then again, I live alone. I have my big girl job.
Mhm.
I finish school. Like, I feel like I'm very
Independent.
independent and I feel like if I'm ever having any sort of trouble, I obviously have to deal with that by myself. Like, even
Yeah.
recently, I had to go get all of my tires changed. And I feel like that's something my dad does for you guys. I feel like if anything, you guys are babied.
Wait, what?
If anything,
No.
they are babied because my dad does everything for you guys. If you have to get your car
Mm.
maintenance, my dad takes it. If
No,
you
I
at
take it.
sea, I don't know. But it's like, I feel like you guys get babied, whereas I have to go figure it out on my own because I'm so far. Or like the other day, I all fainted. And it's like, I have to take myself to the doctor. I have to like do things on my own because I have
Uh-huh.
nobody else over there that can help me. So I feel like you guys are babied, even with like your taxes. My dad did your taxes, huh?
No, babe. I have a whole accountant that I've been paying for
Oh.
the past 4 years. If my dad were to do my taxes,
Or like send them in. Go do your
no,
taxes.
I pay a whole accountant who comes
Okay,
and
never
does my
mind.
taxes.
But what other things does my dad do for you? He takes down your trash can.
It's different though, because like my dad helps me, but I pay, because the way that I see it is I rather pay my dad than pay somebody else.
Mhm.
So my dad does do a lot of work in my house.
I don't pay anyone. I do it myself.
Yeah, but like I could do it, but because I prefer to pay somebody. So it's more like my dad could do it for me just to be like, oh, I'm your dad. But I'm like, no, dad, I want to pay you. So like
Mhm.
I rather pay my dad than pay some, because I used to have a person, a gardener who would
I
come
remember.
tend to all my things. And my dad was like, oh, because I would complain a lot about the gardener. He wasn't doing the best job. And my dad's like, well, I could do it for you. And he's like, you don't have to pay me nothing. I was like, no, I'd rather pay you. So I pay him more to do it because it's my dad. But it's funny that you see it like that, because I feel like I see my parents as my kids almost sometimes. I have to pay my parents. I have to buy them their groceries sometimes. I have to take them to their doctor appointments. I don't take my parents to the eye doctor, they're not going to go. And I always tell my parents, I'm like, when did we switch roles? Because I'm sure they don't tell you that, but like the other day I had to make them an appointment and right now they're due for another eye appointment. And you know how funny that is for me to be like, vámonos a su cita. Like I have to take them and they don't want to.
They don't like
But I'm
the
like,
doctor.
yeah, I feel like they don't like to feel like we're taking care for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, hey, ya les toca su cita, let's go. And they're like, mm-mm. I'm like, vámonos, I'm going to pick you guys up this day, this time. So then I have to take my parents.
But I
so-
feel like honestly, the most independent.
Yeah, in the sense where like when I need help, I can definitely
Like
call
even
my
the,
dad
the
and ask him
day
for help.
I had to change my tires like 2 weeks ago because one of them exploded.
Mhm.
And then the guy was like, girl, you're playing with your life. You need to change all your tires.
Mhm.
And so for that, I had to go and I had to go negotiate. I was all
Yeah.
negotiating with all the dones. They're really nice because I always go there. So like
Yeah.
they already know me. But like even that, I was like, this is something probably would have sent my dad to do if I was living
Yeah.
in SoCal. But it's
Yeah.
like, I have to do this by myself. I got hit on the freeway like last August.
Mhm.
Some goofy ass hit me.
Yeah.
But even that whole situation, like I was having to like do all the insurance stuff. I didn't even know, like, I've never been hit before. So I was like, what do I
Like, what do I do?
do? And then I
Yeah.
was like, I guess I have to call Highway Patrol to come
Yeah.
file a report.
Mhm.
And then like, cause the guy, I looked at the guy and I was like, now what? And then he
Yeah.
was like, he was crying.
Mm.
He was crying because he felt horrible that he literally just he just hit me and he just got
Yeah.
in an accident. Like he was not having it. I wasn't having it either, but he's crying and I'm there like,
You hit me.
yeah, I was like, babe, you hit me, but let me do this for us. I was like,
Yeah.
let me call Highway Patrol, let me file the report and
Yeah.
everything. But like even that, it's like
Yeah, it's more like we have my parents to our disposal.
the other day, like my water just wasn't working. I didn't know what I was doing, but I go in there and I start unscrewing stuff. Like I literally, like I did not know what I was doing. I was like, I could easily just make this even worse.
Yeah.
I made it work. I fixed it. I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was just playing and then fixed
You're
it.
like, this is gonna
But like stuff
work.
like that, it's just like
Yeah.
I have
For
no one
sure,
else.
things like that where like something as simple as like all the lights in my garage go off. I'm like, Dad, my lights aren't working.
I have to figure it out.
Or like the other day my garage wasn't opening and I was like, Dad, my garage not opening. So he came to like fix it and things like that. So it's more like I have my parents more at my disposal, and for you, you're like, bitch, if I don't figure this out, I'm fucked. 'Cause
There's
my dad's not
no
gonna go
one.
7 hours to go fix your water
There's
or
no
something
one.
like that.
To help me. Or even like if I ever get furniture or if I have to move stuff.
But I
have
don't
to
think,
figure it out.
going back to the question, I don't think that's giving younger child. I think that's giving you wanted to be very independent, which I applaud you for. Because not everybody is doing that. Not everybody's living that far from their family. All right. Move back. I know. I'm like, comment down
Well,
below.
your original question was, do I feel like
Well, I worded it wrong. I asked you, do you feel like if there's more pressure? But the question was, do you feel like we're babying you more? And I feel like
no, because I feel like I don't even tell you guys
a lot
a lot of stuff when it
yeah.
happened. Like I just told him I did faint like a few weeks ago,
And I had no idea.
and I didn't tell him
She was
until like
oh.
no, yeah, and I didn't tell him until today. I don't
Yeah.
even. I think I was feeling lightheaded again, and so I told him today. But even stuff like that, I feel like I don't tell you guys a lot
Yeah.
because I'm so far.
The distance does make it seem like there's a a gap.
Well, because I feel like there's no point in worrying you guys if you can't do anything about it.
But then it's fun every time Andrea comes to visit because I'll clear out my whole schedule and I'll like find things for us to do because she's not here very often. So when she's here, I'm like,
Like
I
put
get
her to work on the
excited.
podcast.
I know. I'm like, this is part of excitement.
No, yeah, but like today he took me to get my nails.
Oh yeah, I took her to get her nails done, and I
Paid for
went
my nails.
to remove my nails. I was like, and then I'm gonna go remove my nails. Do you wanna go get your nails done? She was like, yeah. So then we went on like a little nail date.
We might go shopping tomorrow.
Yeah, we might. Who knows? Or wine tasting.
Yoatzi
We
can't
love wine.
participate because she's very pregnant.
Yeah, but even when she's not pregnant, she doesn't participate. I just can't imagine. I'm all calling her out. Yeah,
It's only if we're doing cute activities like coloring or making candles or baking.
yeah. Yoatzi's very homebody. We gotta go to
She's
her.
so.
Me and Andrea will have a full day of activities, and then we'll be like, "Hey, can we come over?" And she'll be like, "Yeah."
Mhm.
So then that'll be like our ending the day. Well, but this was really fun. I hope you enjoyed.
Talking about Sissy, I think we're gonna go color now.
I know a la verga. I just kidding. Yeah, no, this was really fun, and I loved doing like an episode with you. I now I'm like really curious to know what an episode with just you and Yoatzi would be like, because like. I feel like me and you have more relationship than you and her, but I also know that you and her are very close when it comes to like giving each other life advice and just
We're all trauma bonded.
I know. No, I feel like y'all have more of a
Like I
mature-
feel like me and Yoatzi are very much sisters, and me and you were like friends.
friends. Yeah, more like we're like I'll hit up on that to be like, we're going out. Like she'll be driving here and I'm like, we're going out. And she's like, can I please get there first?
Oh yeah, like I feel like we're friends.
Yeah. And then you're more
we're
like,
sisters.
help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm having a breakdown, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, but I loved seeing you on the podcast when if it's ever me and Andrea, if I do choose her as my co-host, it will be called Thought Daughter Gay Son. And y'all will know when she's on here.
or thought son, gay daughter.
Or Stupid Lost Son. I just I don't know how to read
Oh, nada
myself.
que ver. I was
know.
like,
But thank you so much for coming on this episode, Nan. I hope you had so much fun.
yeah, I'm drunk.
And yeah, we were drinking wine. I don't know, well, obviously the fucking glasses were there.
Man, I don't know if you guys noticed.
Let me know what y'all thought about this episode with Andrea and if y'all would like to see her as a co-host.
I'm gonna say no.
Fuck her. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
never again.
I know. Like, please don't bring her back. Yeah, just kidding.
Tired of her.
We love you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.